Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mahjong Talk. I'm your host Peter Vong. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of my latest videos. Okay, so let's just get started with the game. So the Peerless Ichihime event is still going on, so you got until September to actually get all the bosses within the round. So, you know, I'll show you a little bit of it at the end of this video. So, let's get into the game here. So what I want to talk about today with you guys is life is filled with uncertainty, and uncertainty is part of life. That's basically the whole gist of today's video. And the thing of it is that, like, I don't know if I covered this topic many times before, but at the same time, oh, there you go. It's like basically so much uncertainty. We have so much Ichihime right here. Anyway, so the thing of it is that uncertainty is kind of built into human nature when you think about it, because the thing of it is that in negative ways as well as positive ways. So for instance, negative ways, for example, say, you know, like a new person in power has come in, you know, they're a tyrant, you know, there's things going to go on, and you have the uncertainty of whether you should leave or whether you should stay in a country, you know. And I'm pretty sure many people who have been, like, you know, been through certain experiences, such as, you know, like we know about World War II, we know what happened in Germany during the Holocaust and everything like that. And there were probably people that were very uncertain. They were very uncertain of whether to stay in Germany or whether to leave Germany, you know, based on the new power dynamic that was going on. And some people probably weren't aware of what was going on until it was too late. So, you know, uncertainty is always going to bound to be part of life, but also uncertainty can be also be part of a positive thing in life, such as say you're at a job that you you don't really care for, and then all of a sudden you feel like, oh, I gotta leave, like I gotta get out of here. Then, you know, you feel like that uncertainty of whether you're gonna find another job is gonna like hold you back, because you don't know exactly what the future holds, because you don't know if you're gonna find another job, or you don't know if you're gonna build something on your own that somehow becomes successful. And that's the thing that I think a lot of human beings kind of hold themselves back from, is that they feel as if they have to have a sense of normacy. In other words, the reason why people work at jobs is not only because they need to make money to, well, obviously they need to make money to pay their bills, but also it kind of gives them a sense of camaraderie, if that's the correct word. It makes them feel as if they're one with something bigger, which is society. And the thing of it is that it's really difficult to break that habit, because we all have been growing up around, like, if we were lucky enough to grow up around parents and have family, be around our, like, families that love us, we always try to do our best to make sure that we do stuff that our family appreciates us for, or at least respects us for. And sometimes we make decisions that our families don't appreciate, because it's good for us, but it's not good for them. Or maybe it's something that we felt we had to do on an emotional level. And usually when it comes to, like, you know, leaving a job or changing your life, maybe for the better, it's all emotional based. And the thing of it is that sometimes people think, oh, I have to be more logical, I have to be more practical. At the same time, there are times when you can't be that, because say you have to basically, like, leave because you need to avoid certain dangers, like you have to leave your home because there's a certain danger to your life. You can't be rational in those type of, and you can be rational, but at the same time you can't plan every single detail out, because a lot of people, they want to plan every single detail in case there's a worst case scenario. But the problem is that as much as we try to plan, and as much as as far ahead as some people can look, we can't plan for every single thing that pops up, because there's always going to be some new uncertainty that pops up. And it could be just something random, like, you know, like you could be just like on your way out and you get in your car and you're basically prepared to, like, go to work during the day, but then suddenly something happens, like you notice there's an accident, and then there's somebody is not being helped by anybody, and they're basically on the road and they're basically calling for help, but no one's stopping their car to help them. And, you know, you have a decision to make. You basically have to, like, keep staring and basically just drive away, or you can choose to help them if you notice that no one's helping them. I mean, like, you do what you do, and it's based on your own decisions. But that's the uncertainty part. Is basically you're deciding whether to help someone or not. In the West, we basically, when we see someone in trouble, we usually try to go over and help them as best as we can. But in Japan, for example, if Japan were to witness, say, someone that needs help, like say, they need to go to the hospital or something, like someone passes out on the street or on the pavement. I'm not saying this is more than likely to happen, but from what I've heard is that Japanese people tend to walk away from situations like that, because it's not that they're trying to be cruel. It's more like in the culture they feel as if they're not worthy enough to help because they're not certified to help. In other words, they feel as if someone passes out at a train station, for example, they feel it's the personal duty of the train station staff to help the person because it's their job to. So some people feel that way. Some people feel as if, like say if someone's choking in a supermarket, for example, on a free sample, people would feel hesitant to help that person because they're not licensed to give the Hammock maneuver or something like that. And it's really complicated, and that's where we draw our conclusions about the world sometimes based on those experiences. So basically, someone from Japan that probably is not used to seeing people go out of their way to help somebody, even though it kind of disrupts their day. It's really new because this person's not certified to help someone. They're not part of an ESM. I think what is it called for the people that ride in the ambulance? EMT group or ENT worker that doesn't they're not certified to do that, and yet a person is willing to run across the street, even though they're just a regular person with no rescuing certifications, to help somebody. And it really shows you how different perspectives people have, not only based on culture but also based on thought patterns. And it also makes sense. And when you actually find those connections that actually it makes sense, then you realize that life is just filled with so many gray areas. And those gray areas are practically the thing that I think a lot of people draw conclusions from based on their experiences. But also, it's about the thing of it is that life is filled with so many probabilities of things happening, but also probabilities of things not happening. Many people face this when they get into politics. They feel as if they get active in the voting process, they're going to be empowered to basically change the society and change how things are done, and create laws that basically benefit humankind, or at least the citizens of the said country. But then later, there are things in politics that basically people get disappointed about, and they feel as if certain policies should be passed, but then they end up getting failed to be voted on, or getting failed to be given the option to vote on. And this is where I think older people feel as if young people kind of feel as if young people will learn the harshities. I would have to say the other perspective. I'm not going to say the reality, because the thing of it is that I believe reality is how you perceive things. So what you see in the world and what you think the world should kind of be constructed, it's going to be lying in the middle. And the thing of it is that people think that just because they try to sit in this middle ground, they have this observant view that will tell them that, life is going to go in this direction, or life is going to go in this direction. But that's usually based on experience. It's not really based on any, scientific way of structuring how reality really works, unless you're getting into physics. But physics doesn't really tell us how society works. It basically tells us how the natural world will behave based on certain energies or certain matter or certain behaviors of forces. Society itself is another animal, and I think that's why we have things like sociology and psychology. And when you look at sociology on the broad spectrum, I'm not really big on sociology, but mostly people look at, I remember when I was in college, learning sociology was basically how society works, or how society kind of reacts in certain ways. But in overall, many of my college classmates, as well as my friends that went with me to college, they would say that sociology is just basically learning common sense. Like, to them, it's basically learning common sense. To me, it's basically just learning one perspective of how humankind has existed in, creating a society, creating civilization, and all that. And living in society, it's filled with so much uncertainties, and I think it's also built into how we also view the science of predicting the future, namely physics, because there's an area of physics called quantum mechanics, and many of us, like, especially of those of us who've watched a lot of sci-fi, we hear about quantum mechanics all the time, like, how a particle is here, there, everywhere, or like particles can be more than one state until we observe them or measure them, as it were. And the thing of it is that, like, if we take quantum mechanics, like, I'm not trying to make a woo-woo science like conclusion about it, but if we take broadly what quantum mechanics usually, like, what we kind of hear from like science communicators, is that particles behave through probabilities. They're not really behaving through certainties. And there's a 97% chance that a particle will be here and a 3% chance that the particle will be here, and that's just two states, and there's like multiple different states as well, for particles, so it could be in many different states. But there's probabilities of where it will be once you measure it, but when you don't measure it, when you don't observe it, it's practically in many places at once, and that's usually the thing that kind of like trips people up at times. So what does that have to do with, like, society and our way of viewing the world? We all have choices, and those choices are filled with so much uncertainty that we get paralyzed by, the what if scenarios that are in our head. One path could lead you to success, one path can lead you to failure, and one path could lead you to a middle ground where you feel as if you succeeded in one moment, but then when you go on further, it doesn't help you in the long run, so then you have to find something else. And usually that's what happens. People try like different steps, and sometimes they don't do certain steps, and then they get further along with different ways of doing things, and then they move on. So the thing of it is that life is not set in stone, and like, if you guys believe in destiny or something like that, like, your life is not over until you actually pass away and move on to like the next realm of existence, whether it be nothing, whether it be heaven, or whether it be like just something you imagine in general, you believe that reality is constructed from. Unless you study the laws of physics and then you happen to discover a close approximation of what reality could be, which is why I'm so into theoretical physics. But the thing that I want you guys to take away from this is that whatever decisions you may have in the back of your mind, and you feel it's good for you, but many people will judge you for it, whether it be your parents or whether it be your friends or family or both, just know that you only have one life, and sometimes you can take those big leaps, and sometimes those big leaps will not be accepted by everybody, and sometimes those big leaps will lead you astray sometimes. But the truth of the matter is that you have to be aware of what your decisions may entail, but you also have to ask yourself, what would happen if you didn't do that, and would you have regret not doing that? And if the answer is yes, you won't have regrets doing it, then you probably wouldn't do it. But if you have regrets if you didn't do it, and the answer is if the answer is no, you will regret, let me restate that. If the answer is yes, that you will have regrets if you don't do it, chances are you probably should do it before your life comes to an end. If the answer is no, you won't have regrets not doing the thing, then you probably won't have to do that thing, because it's not really a priority in your mind. Like, for instance, for myself, for example, I really want to go on a career break, and when I think about it, it's the thing is that it's so strong in me that I really want to do this, and next year hopefully it goes through without a hitch. But life is uncertain, and things could pop up, and I might have to put my career break like on hold. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but at the same time, things do happen in life. And, you know, I don't know, I can't predict the future, but I'm not going to be being hard on myself because I can't predict said future. And I know you guys probably don't know your own future as well. You guys are probably either going to school or you guys are probably just working a job, and you know, you don't know what the future holds. Some of you guys don't even know what your ambitions are or what your passions are. And that's okay, because life is endless as long as you're breathing. And you know, the conclusion of the whole thing is you do what you feel is best for you, and if it will let you live a more fulfilling life that will allow you to look back and say, I'm glad I did A, B, and Z, then just do it. Many of my friends have been telling me that for years, and you know, I've kind of seen exactly what they meant. You know, like making content creation, for example. I'm making videos for you guys. I'm also streaming on Twitch for you guys. I couldn't be more happier, and I couldn't even imagine a life where I did not do this. Okay, so let's check out the Ichihime event before I conclude for today. I don't think I did anything, but I can claim some stuff. Let's see, completed. Then again, I didn't win anything. I just got like second place. So I guess that's it for the Ichihime event on my end. So I'm just gonna change to my main screen here. Okay, good. So guys, I hope you like what you saw. If you like what you saw, consider hitting a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of my latest videos. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. The links are in the description down below, so you can follow me on both of those. And also, if you want to like catch a game with me or any of my friends, or just talk about life with us in general, or just your interests, you can catch us on the New Bridge Discord, server, which the link is also in the description down below. And also, if you want to catch the Twitch live streams, the Twitch link is also down below. I usually stream from Monday to Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also stream Saturdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, so I think that's about it for today's video. As I always say to you guys, everyone is precious. You guys are just as precious as everyone else. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.